Coming up on God Stories.
About the school. Indeed, we have graduated children and they are school going, but when they go home, the parents also say, what next? They don't have where to go, and they are school going children and they don't have even money, even a single penny. So they still come back to us. Now you help us to take the children to school or build us a school. And we're like, let's keep praying to God to provide. Maybe one day we'll have a school. So we have a need, we have a prayer need or a prayer request that if God provides, we grow bigger, we have a school.
Pastor Gary's not here with us today, but we have two special people from the other side of the world from where I am in Uganda. We have Ben Kintu and Sophie Nantongo, and it's so cool because like this technology that, you know, I was just like meditating this, you know, that years ago, like there wouldn't be such technology like this, and you would have to get like a phone card from a grocery store and then make those numbers and call, and then all of a sudden, all you need to do now is connect through Wi-Fi, and you can see each other, and that's something that our generation will not understand, and so. You just got to thank the Lord for that. And we have to thank the Lord as well. But it's so cool. Just right now, it's 9 a.m. here and 7 p.m. over there. And so we're about 14 hours apart. And so cool to have both of you here joining me. I say us, but like both of you joining me. I mean, usually Gary's here, but he's not. So it's me right now. And what is your role too at the feeding center?
Thank you, Daniel. My name is Ben Kintu, and greetings to all our listeners, our viewers. My role to the feeding center, I'm an administrator, the feeding center administrator of Anchor Hope. So, I joined the feeding center last year in October. And then up to now, we are moving forward. So I'm doing the administrative work in Anchor of Hope Feeding Center, Naluko.
And what does that consist of as far as your role as an administrator? Like, what's your day-to-day operation like, and what your responsibilities are over there at the feeding center?
So my responsibilities are quite many. I oversee the feeding center, staffs all, and all the operations that go on. And most of the people report to me, and then I report to the director, and that is Pastor Gary. So we do different things. Sophie, as she said, she's a nurse. She's in the Department of Health or Medical department. And then we have also other departments. We have caretakers, we have field officers, we have the cooks, we have like many departments in the field in the feeding center. So I oversee all those departments. So in those departments, still we have the supervisors who report to the operation manager, and then the operation manager reports to me so that we are able to move forward with whatever that goes on. So majorly what we do is we take care of children who are malnourished. So malnourished children, I believe most of us know what they are. They are children who are actually they have been deprived of nutrients in their bodies. They are not taken care of by their parents. They are neglected, and all those things. So malnutrition can be defined like in two times: when maybe someone is obese and someone is really very thin or not fed well. But what we have is children who are not fed well. They are deprived of nutrients. They are deprived of care. They are deprived of love. So that is the type of children that we are taking care of. And they in these children, as we get them through the field officers who go in the field in the communities. They check and see their children. How many? Which children are eligible of coming to our center to be helped. So you find that there are many, but we still sort those who are really very ill, those who are really badly off. So as the field workers go in the field, they go identify the children, and then they involve the medical team. Mostly, Sophie goes with them to go and really see are these ones eligible for us to take care of them, and then they find that they are eligible, and then they bring them, we enroll them, and then start taking care of them. So those are some of the things that I oversee, and then other things we'll be able to establish as we go by. Thank you.
Yeah, and for those of you, you probably have seen the updates. If you subscribe to our text, and if you want to keep latest updates, you can subscribe to our text thread by texting the word AIR to the number area code 949-384-9282. Again, 949-384-9282. Text the word AIR. You'll be able to see these updates as far as like, you know, who to pray for and the condition of these kids. And they're even in our blog at anchoredrelief.blog. You'll be able to see all the latest things that have been happening, even in our social media on Instagram. So those are ways you can connect too. And but Ben just kind of giving us a little insight of what's happening over there. And I want to go back to Sophie, because you're a nurse, you're part of the feeding center. What is it that you see on a day-to-day basis? And is there one particular instance where all of a sudden, like, it got your eyes and all of a sudden, like, you just feel for this person, or you just, you know, where the Lord just kind of showed you his healing hand or just his grace? Why don't you share like a little bit about that? Like, you know, what goes on from your experience, Sophie?
So something that I see on day-to-day basis is with children, very then maybe health, their last stages of life, and then sometimes find that the children or child really looks wasted, and then you get touched. And I really want to thank God that
we're losing signal. Yeah. So for those of you that are watching, listening right now, this is, you know, I'm here in Aliso Viejo, California. They're in Uganda, and the networks are not as strong over there. And so hope you guys understand what's happening here, because it's, you know, this is real time, and so bear with us. You know, sometimes the networks are, you know, we've been having issues too, like even when we connect there, but you know what? It's amazing. You know, like I said in the very beginning of the episode, it's amazing to see, like, you know, this technology that we get to use. And while we wait for Sophie, we can go to you, Ben. Like, sorry. Hey, Sophie, how are you doing? Sorry. Yeah. Actually, yeah, go ahead and continue. Actually.
yes,
Follow up on that, Ben. Okay, we're losing audio signal too.
Who are critically ill, you get touched and believe God for their life, and then with time, the healing, and you see a life come out of them. You see them starting to take steps. Yeah. So maybe I give an example of one of the children that we had of recent, or just have with our program. Name is Babide Chirabo. So Babide Chirabo is a twin that had her twin sister, and the children had a very bad state. So they were really badly off with malnutrition, and then they were having a lot of diarrhea, and then all those complications of malnutrition. So the cause of the malnutrition was their mother stopped breastfeeding them at 4 months. So we got them at 8 months. They were 8 months old. So their mom stopped breastfeeding them at 4 months because she did not have breast milk. So in that, it was hard for her to find maybe some milk formula or some nutritious food to the child. These children deteriorated. And sad to say that one of them actually lost their life, because by the time we found them, their situation was really bad. So we had to rush them to the hospital, and then we had to lose one of them. So we thank God that at least we had one left. Those are the situations that we really see, and you're like, God, I pray that this does not happen to any other person around, or does not happen. Yeah. So,
and I want to go back to Ben, because like how many people do you staff at that feeding center?
So on the feeding center, we have a big number. Like the staffs, the directly involved staffs, they are 27, and then we have the staffs from the other departments, like the farm. We have 3 at the farm. There's a farm that fits the feeding center with the supplies with the feeding center with some milk, some vegetables, and all those the things. And then we have another staff in the farming God's way. There's another small farm that is farming God's way. That is one person. And then we have another one person, actually 3 people at the air home, because I'm also overseeing the air home. So the air home, we have 3 people. So that comes to around the 34 staff all over the feedings for the feeding center.
And then basically, we heard what Sophie does. We heard what you do. What's the daily operation as far as like in general of what goes on over there with like your other staff members, or even let's just say your volunteers that come by that, you know, from time to time?
Yes. Currently, we don't have volunteers. We only have a student that is doing public administration, and is one. But what goes on at the feeding center is generally to take care of the malnourished children, and these malnourished children, we take care of them in a way that when they go, because we have a van which picks them in the morning, and then it has to take them back in the evening after we have taken care of them. So when they bring them in the morning, we have a fellowship with them, pray with them, and then after praying with them, we serve breakfast for them, and then after breakfast, we have a teacher, who has to teach them, and the teacher teaches them through the Bible, through basic English, and those basic manners on how to behave in the society. And then when they are done, they are done they are done with maybe school, because others are very small, others are big. So those big ones can they can contain the teaching. The small ones can just sleep. So after they are done with the teaching, they have to go and bathe. After bathing, they come back and eat the lunch now. After lunch, they go and sleep. So they sleep. After sleeping, they wake up again. They have a meal at around 3 p.m. As they have a meal, and then after a meal, they are bathed, and then they wait at 4 to go back home to their parents. Generally, that's what we are doing. So basically, our work is based on the children that are malnourished in the community. So far, we are having 27 children on enrollment, because we wanted a number that will be able to sustain and be able to handle, because these children have a lot of work. One child can take 3 people to take care of him or her because of the work they have. When they come in, some of them they have done pooping their diapers. They need to be bathed. Their clothes needs to be washed. All those things they have to be taken care of. Because they are malnourished, their parents are not actually taking care of them. They are a problem to their parents. So when they come, we make sure that we show them that they are also important and we should love them. So we make sure that every staff that takes care of the children must exhibit the love of Christ in these children. So this is what we are doing in our village.
I
Okay,
want to go
then
back. Yeah, go for it,
maybe
Sophie.
maybe to add on what they so we have a team of field officers that go to the field and then help us for the children, and then the kids are then brought to the nutrition center, or sometimes the medical team goes into the villages and then brought to us, check them, and then they get enrolled. So that's how we get our children. And then maybe more, I think he has talked about most of the things, how the staff operates, the compound and everything.
Sophie, how long have you been a nurse?
I've been a nurse for 4 years now.
4 years? And how long you've been with the feeding center?
Been at the
For how long, I'm sorry?
for 2 years.
2 years. For 2 years.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Were you at a hospital before before the feeding center?
Yeah, I was
Wow. And you're full time here at the feeding center now, right?
Yeah, I am.
Because where I'm going with this is, you could have stayed at the hospital where it's consistent income coming in, because it's a hospital, but then it's a feeding center and it's, not necessarily like where are the funds coming. So like, what caused you to say, you know what, I'm going to be full time here at the feeding center, and like, what gave you that passion to be there, and like after even the last couple years?
Oh, first of all, I want to thank God because I'm born again.
Mm.
And, I thank God that every time before I do something, I always ask Him and He gives me an answer. So I personally feel that I was called to serve this, and even if the funds are there or they are not there,
Mm-hmm.
the gospel and the Lord remains more. So I love children so much, and the fact that a lot is going on out there, we have a lot of ignorant people in the villages. People are poor; they don't have the knowledge about all these things. So I felt that I need like the Lord called me to be here and help the community to know what they're supposed to do and also serve the children so that they can also have a better life, because they deserve to be like any other child, and if they are malnourished or what.
And Ben, I want to go back to Ben. What is your background as far as educational and all that stuff? Like, what's your work experience or your career experience?
Okay, I'm a lab technician. So actually, I've worked also in the hospital for some good years now. Right from 2015 up to now, I've been working in the hospital. So that is my background. I'm a medical personnel also.
And so, like, you could have, worked at a hospital as a lab technician, or throughout all this time. It's like, what has driven you to be here at the feeding center, and to where you are right now? And, like, because you could have taken a career path if you wanted to, but, you decided to, you know what, I'm going to be here at the feeding center. And can you explain to people why you, why you feel that way? And so, just so that people can understand.
Yeah. First of all, I love children. And the children it's my passion to serve children. And I've worked with the children like over 9 years, and I feel like these children, it is part of me. So one of the things that prompted me to, like, okay, I think God is calling me to serve the children, because right from back then, when I've been working with children, I felt like I have peace. When you're doing something and you have peace, you feel like God is telling you to have that. So because I love children, and when I got to know that there is serving children here, I said, oh God, I think this is the opportunity for me to pour my life into these children, so that I am able to get something out of these children. And then secondly, the Bible tells me that those who let them come to me, those little ones. For those who are like, those are the ones who are going to inherit the kingdom of God. That prompts me, like, I think if I worked with the children, if I served the children, I believe I have my package right here. I have my reward right here, and that is what prompted me to keep serving with the children. Yeah.
And for those that are listening and watching, the reason why I asked that, there's been like, at least where the Holy Spirit was really revealing to me, are you doing this out of obligation because it's a job, or because I called you to do it? Because there's a difference between working and being called to. And sometimes being called to is like, you have to get rid of a lot of things, or to say no to maybe a best career path. And so I want to challenge you, viewers and listeners, if you're being called by the Lord, obey that command, obey it, because he's going to look out for you. He's going to have everything provided for you. And, the other point to that is that, you see Ben and Sophie here are, they're relying on the Lord, and they depend upon the power of the Holy Spirit to continue to do what they do, because Philippians 4:20, my God shall supply all my needs according to his riches in glory. And also too, which brings me to this point, like for everybody out there that's been faithfully faithful with their generosity and their donations. Thank you guys so much, because your funds, your donations are keeping the feeding center alive and helping people like Ben and Sophie and their staff, and those that are considering. I encourage you to pray about whether or not you want them to, or whether you want to partner with Anchored financially, because it helps go towards the feeding center, and that's one of our projects that we do, because they don't get money from the government, we don't get money from anything else, but it's literally by lay people like you guys, and we're not supported by any denomination, so to speak, but we're only supported by lay people, but don't give if it's, out of obligation. You feel, because God blesses a cheerful giver. And if the Lord prompts you to give, do it. If not, then don't, and that's why I encourage you guys to pray, consider about partnering, because, God blesses a cheerful giver. It's more blessed to give than to receive. And we don't get, and this is not a prosperity message. You don't give so you can get. If that happens, praise the Lord, that's what the Lord does. But you give because you believe in it, because you've already gotten it, and that's his son, Jesus Christ, and you're giving back. And so that's the great way of approaching it as far as biblically, because, I'm grateful. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to ask the Lord, I want to give, but I just don't know how much. And that's where you ask the Lord to tell you, because regardless of what amount that is, it doesn't matter what the amount, it's more of the abundance of the heart. And so, and the Lord sees that, because the Lord's not going to grade based off like how much you give, but more of like the motive of the giving. And so, and again, and I hope this is not going to throw you off, or just, when he's like, oh, that this is all about giving. Like, no, this is not about that. It's literally about obeying the commands of the Lord. Are you called to do it? Are you called to serve? Are you called to these things? Are you called to give? Are you called to? And so, yeah, that's why it's, because otherwise, if you're not called to, it's like, and there's no problem if you're not called to, but when the Holy Spirit prompts you, it's best to obey it, because he understands it. He's the Lord. He's the author of our life. And so, that'll be encouragement to you guys. And actually, another thing that, where not only feeds the feeding center, but there's also a farm, and the Acre of Hope farm. And, Ben, I want you to, can you explain to us about the farm that's happening over there?
Okay. First of all, I want to appreciate all our donors. I want to tell you that each penny that you give in is doing some big, great work. And the children right here are being helped. In fact, there is time I felt bad when they brought in a small kid who was almost dying. But when we enrolled this child, he was in 4 kilograms. Now he's in 6 kilograms. So every pen that you give in, it is doing something very great to the children. And I believe God is going to bless you abundantly, because you have saved life. You have saved someone who would have died. But now, people are being saved. Children are being saved. I think if you reach our page, you'll see the children before and the children after. I think I'll ask Daniel if you will be able to upload some pictures so that they can be able to see, so that they know the work that they something they give it does. So it is something very good for them to be able to support these children, to support us, so that the work of God can go on. We sustain life, and something good is being done here. And I just trust me, every penny that is being given is used faithfully, and it is doing the right work. So to go to what the farm does. So we have a farm. and the small other farming God's way. So the bigger farm, we have different things that are there. So we have 5 cows, and these cows, some of them are males, some of them are females. So the females, we get some milk that they supply with they supply to the feeding center, and this milk helps to feed the children that we have and the whole staff that we have. So it is vital for the farm to be there so that it can feed the feeding center, and the feeding center feeds the children. So we have the cows, we have we plant vegetables, we plant there is food called matoke. I don't know whether our viewers know about it, but the bananas, the bananas. So
Yes.
we put the bananas, and then those bananas also, they are brought to the feeding center, and then they are they are eaten by the children and the staff. And then we also grow the vegetables like carrots. We have like the amaranthus. We have the skuma wiki, and those are greens that also are brought to the feeding center, and then we are able to feed on the children and then the entire staff. So those are some of the things that are being done at the farm. So the farm is basically for getting the supplies for food to the feeding center, and then the feeding center uses it. Then farming God's way also, majorly now we are specializing in vegetables, especially vegetables like carrots, kuma, and eggplants. We have some little corn, which is also going to be used by the feeding center, and maybe some of it we bless the church members, those older people who are not able to take care of themselves. If we have in plenty, we always bless the the older people who are not able to take care of themselves. So majorly that is the farm and the farming God's way.
So, as Ben said, our farm helps supply food, milk, and then vegetables to the children at the feed. So, there's a word that is used, and that is our demonstration farm. So, this help, or the aim of setting up this farm, was that we would show the community that even with the small land that you have, you can cultivate something that is going to help the children, because the numbers of malnutrition in or Naluku nearby villages is very high. So this farm helps so much, or is still helping a lot of people to learn how to farm God's way, to learn how to use the small space that you have for growing food that's going to help on the health of the children, also the people in the community themselves. Yes. So,
and also to add on what Sophie has said, our people have not been taking food crop as a major thing to do. So they take sugarcane growing as something very important, and they forget about doing food crop. And so most of the malnutrition that we are having, it finds that the parents' home do not have food because they have grown sugarcane. They don't have where to put even a small food for the children. So one of the farmers, one of the importance of the farm, as Sophie said, it's a demonstration to show that even when you have smaller, you have smaller space, you are able to grow something that can help your children and your family to feed. So that is one of the importance of the farm. So it's a demonstration to the surrounding communities so that they know that, oh, we can do something even when we have small space. Even when we have grown sugarcane, we can leave small space so that we can have something to grow for food. And that helps to teach the community around around the Naluko and Naluko at large.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also too, like with all that, you know, with the farm. And actually, let me make this point. Pastor Gary said this in our last episode. Like the cost you spend for a Starbucks cup of coffee can feed a family for a week. So over there. So think about that. Like, you think it takes like a lot? Like, no, it only takes like a little bit. And so, and that's the one thing to also consider when praying about whether or not you want to partner with us. And so, what, maybe we start with Sophie. What do you believe would be the hope and the goal for the future of Anchor of Hope? And then and Ben can answer that after.
Hope vision was big from the beginning. And so far, we thank God for what we have right now. What we're hoping to have a greater facility that is going to be able to accommodate a big number of children. Because right now we have a certain number of kids and we limit at a certain point because of the resources that. So we pray God at the time we'll be able to accommodate more than 30 children, because right now our capacity so far accommodates 30 children. And then maybe the other ones that are badly off the stages that we can't help or we can't drop into our program, at least we bless the Lord that funds have been, mobilized sometimes when a child is in a very critical state, and then we rush them maybe to the nearest government hospital that has a department that can help. So those hospitals are really far from, go from one district to another, get a hospital that's going to help the child. So we really pray and believe God that we are going to grow bigger. We hope to grow bigger what right now, that we can be able to help the children out there that are still suffering with malnutrition. And that may be something else that I hope for Anchor Hope is a school that is going to help educate children, because these children are done with our program. And then maybe we've graduated them, we've enrolled them out. You find that they get back to the state and there's nothing else going on in their life. You find that they are healthy, but they've reached the school going age. Their parents have no capacity or they have no money to take them. So we believe God will have a hope school that when health is done with the nutrition state, then maybe they've reached the school going age, they can go to school. Also, over
We're losing audio.
yeah. Clinic with what so good for it into
Mm. Ben,
God forbid.
yeah, go for it, Ben.
All right. So I think Sophie we was talking about this. We have at least hope that this is going to be a big. We hope for a bigger. We have a bigger vision as Uncle Hope. And one of the things she was talking about the school. Indeed, we have graduated children, and they are school going. But when they go home, the parents also say, "What next?" They don't have where to go, and they are school going children, and they don't have even money, even a single penny. So they still come back to us. Now you help us to take the children to school, or
Mm-hmm.
build us a school. And we're like, let's keep praying to God to provide. Maybe one day we'll have a school. So uh, we have a need, we have a prayer need or a prayer request that if God provides, we grow bigger. We have a school. And then as Sophie was talking of the hospital, yeah, actually we move miles to go to other hospitals to seek for help, because
Mm-hmm.
we the capacity of our clinic is not enough to handle the cases that our children have when they get sick. And
Mm-hmm.
then the other thing is we pray that God provides for us, because there are some children who are with us, and when they are taken back, maybe home, they come back when, for example, as today is Friday in this side, when they go on Friday, coming back on Monday, they will have gone well. When they come back on Monday, they will be worse than they went. So Uncle Hope would also like to have at least maybe a hostel for the children, whereby
Mm-hmm.
we take care of our children all through, so that we know we have a progress in our children. When they go home, they deteriorate. When they come at the feeding center, they improve. So if we can have this maybe a hostel or some kind of a boarding section for the children, we keep them throughout maybe a certain period of time. We say maybe we are keeping our children for a year or for 9 months or for 6, whatever, so that we monitor their improvement, because we can't monitor when they go home. We don't know what they are feeding on. We don't know whether they have given them food or not. So if we also hope that if God provides, we have a facility for our children to sleep, and then we take care of them right from the beginning. We monitor them up to the end, so that we know that we are giving out our children, but when they know that we know that they are well. The other thing is there is time we actually got issues with some parent. We took the parent back. The driver took, the child back to the station where they are to pick their children, and they never found the parent. The parent was not there, and now they gave to a fellow parent to take care of the child. But the parent never came to pick the child even at the fellow parent's home. And
Yeah.
then they had to bring back the child at the feeding center, and that was like at 9 in the night. And we had to also trace where the child comes from to take the child back. So, but if we had a facility where we can maybe they can sleep, would not be risking in the night of the hours of the night to be taking the children and come like that. So we hope that if there's provision, we at least get our facilities, we take care of our children, and they are well. I believe that would be nice.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. We're going to have to do an update show in the next few weeks. because, we want to, we're just want to see the faith of the Lord, the faith of, God's faithfulness, throughout all this. And also just from from his Holy Spirit moving on people to partner with us. And so, and also too, because, as what you requested, Ben, for these photos, which will be uploaded on the Instagram and also in our blog later in these next few days or so. We want to keep you guys updated with what's going on, because I know, especially too, with like, hey, if you're going to be partnering with us financially, you definitely want to see what's going on. Like, hey, with when I give to something, I definitely want to see what's going on myself. And so, let's reconnect in the next few weeks, give an update, and even too, like, we're taking the team out in October, and I'm actually praying about coming. So, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Lord gives me an opportunity to go with that. And, I know Casey Shear has been, bugging me about it, and Pastor Gary as well. And so, hopefully I'm going to be definitely be praying about, going, and I hope you guys are too, in October. And so, be praying about that. If you need more information, you could just email us or contact us on our website, anchoredrelief.org, or just message us on our Instagram. And, also, too, if you want to contact us directly, our direct number, 949-432-6777. Again, that's 949-432-6777. And so, and then, if you want to subscribe to our text, or if you want to text us our prayer requests, your prayer request, I should say, you can text us to 949-384-9282. Again, 949-384-9282. And I'm going to encourage you guys, please be praying for Anchor of Hope, and for the Feeding Center, for Ben, and for Sophie, and for the rest of the staff, and for the kids especially, because God is using these guys to minister to these kids and to raise them up, not only feeding them physically, but also giving them the word of the Lord and showing the love of Christ on top of that. And they can't do it without your support and your prayers. And so, thank you, Ben, Sophie. Thank you for joining me today. And hope you guys have a great weekend over there. And as you get ready to worship the Lord on Sunday. And thank you guys for joining us. And yeah, if you need anything, please reach out to us. And we will see you next week. God bless you guys. Have a good day.
God bless you, and have a good day.
Yes.
The preceding was a production and broadcast ministry of Anchored International Relief.